Hey everybody, I'm going to demonstrate my new macro, GDG Visual Tuner. Pretty neat. Got a bunch of options here, about 12 of them. Just going to select everything here. I'm going to do the text kerning. Let's just leave this at default, or we can put our values here. I'm going to use the sensitivity slider. We can increase or decrease. You can also use this if you like this. Hold shift on your keyboard, you'll get a double value, or hold control and you get smaller values. So don't forget those modifier keys. Holding shift and pressing in here, you get quadruple the value change. Because this is times 2, this is times 1. Pretty neat things you can do. We can do rotation. We can select all the shapes. We can work in power clips. There's 4 different power clip modes you can change by clicking this. Click the what's this. It tells you what you'll be selecting. If you want to get the containers and everything inside the power clips, you'll put it on 0. If not, it'll only look for shapes in the power clip and it'll prompt you if it didn't find any. So don't forget about that. Very powerful. We can do different operations here like rotate. We can use our values if we'd rather. Just 4 different presets here just to be handy. And what are we doing? Oh, we're looking for 2 level deep in power clip. We want to put that. We'll just uncheck that for now. We can rotate all the shapes at once. We're using 1.5. I'm going to hold shift. You notice it'll go faster. Hold shift and use our slider. We could put it at 15 degrees for our angle. Rotate all our shapes. We got skew. Same thing. And horizontal or vertical skew. Pretty powerful feature when you're working with lots of shapes. I'm going to put a CMYK blue on these. It doesn't. Just for demonstrations. We're going to change the fill. You can change fill, outlines, or both. We're just going to work with fill on that. I'm going to take out some magenta. Remember, it's using 15. If I want to use my sensitivity slider, it will remember the position on the sensitivity slider for each and every one of these functions. So you can get your settings, get them just where you want it, and you can, we're removing magenta. If I want to add some yellow, I'll check yellow. Just make sure it's a CMYK shape. I'm going to increase the sensitivity, and it will remember. See how it remembers the sensitivity for each one that I saved it as. I'm going to add yellow. We can add some black and some yellow. Interesting effects. Just make sure you have an RGB shape, or if you're going to use these. If you click this checkbox here, it tells you what you got. We got CMYK right here for our fills. And I'm just going to click OK on that. We can do size. We can do position. We can go diagonal. It'll work with all the shapes too. We could add an outline, apply hairline to everything that is selected, and we can increase our. If I want to get fine-tuned here, we can just kind of do this. I'm using this button. If you like to use this, use this. Your choice. Get out here and you need more of a slider, click reset slider and keep going. Bring her back down. Reset slider, back down. Or you can just, if you prefer, use the spin button. One kind of cool feature on this is if we have outlines. I like the round outline option a lot. I'm going to put it green so you can see it. You can quickly make it round. And then quickly make it sharp again. Real handy right there. Apply hairline brings it back to hairline. I can use dock units for this, or points. If I'm using points, I'll want to use my fixed values, and this would be 1 point, half a point. All these settings, everything you change is remembered in this macro, so that's one of the great things about it. One of my favorite things about this macro is positioning. I like this here. Select a point. I'm going to click right here. And make sure you select a point. It'll show your point coordinates. If you don't select a point, you could cause an error. Press escape. If you decide you don't want to select a point, just press escape. But we're going to select a point. I'm going to choose that. That's the coordinates. I'm going to use my position to point option, and I'm not going to work with nodes. I'm going to work with shapes. I'm going to select these, and I'm going to... Oh, I got my value too high, 15, so it threw it off. Let me hit Control Z. Found my shapes again. Had the value set at 15. We're going to use 1. I'm going to select the shapes. Take it off rotation. Position to point. That's our point. I'm back. I actually paused the video for a second. I lost my shapes. I had my value set too high. So on this function, you want to make sure you use a small value to start with until you figure out where you want it. Try the sensitivity slider. I'm going to select a point right here, and I'm going to move the shapes toward that point. We can increase the sensitivity. Better if we use that function, right? And it just moves the shapes to or away from that point. Any point you select, if we select a point right here, we'll move the shapes to and away. And one of my favorite things, I'm going to convert these to curves. I'm going to move them here. Make another one. Control A, Control Q. I'm going to select all of them with the nodes. Let's see, Control A. Put the shape tool, and I'm going to hold Shift and select a few nodes here. And these are going to be nodes from different shapes. And I'm going to click this button to use nodes, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring those nodes to the point. Remember that point we had up there? The same thing, you can bring it away. I'm going to reselect a point in the center and bring it to that point. Pretty neat, pretty fun macro. Lots of features. Option packed. Saves all settings, positions. Just remember, as we just noticed with this position thing, part of the macro, use small values. If you use a large value, you might run into problems. So start off with a small value if you're going to use your sensitivity. And then once you get the value where you need it, saves the setting. It just saved that setting for each one of these functions. So you want to look in groups, power clips. I think we covered everything. And there's the macro. Hope you like it.